Yeah. Yeah. Good evening, all. So myself, I'm Vijay. I hold 14 plus years of experience, which includes 7 plus years of experience in Python environment, right? So my experience includes design, development, and implementation of Python and Django based applications. So well versed in implementing different Python libraries like NumPy, CP, Pandas, PyTables, Matplotlib, okay, URLlib, etc. So experience in implementing large-scale business critical systems using object-oriented programming designs using Python and Django, and developing varieties of applications, server-side applications, right? Okay. So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear? Can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether my screen is visible or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, your voice is clear.
Okay. So the demo goes like today and tomorrow I'll be just briefing you about these things, right? Python. So these are the concepts that I'm going to discuss, right? Yes. So why Python? Already we have got multiple programming languages in the market. Why again Python required, right? Who can learn Python? What are the prerequisites for learning Python? So do we require any programming knowledge to update with Python? Okay. How Python was built and how Python was derived, from where it has taken the features from. Python real-time applications, what kind of applications we can build today by using Python. Python mostly used for developing what kind of applications, right? So before you update with any technology, right, you need to know what kind of applications you are going to build with it, what kind of applications you are going to develop, right? Yes. Python features. What are the features you see which are not available in other programming languages? Python comparison with other programming languages. Python comparison with other programming. So I'll compare Python coding with other language. You can just observe how simple the Python statements look like. The simple syntax is given by Python. You can just see that coding of Python as compared with other programming. You can just say coding wise, length wise, complexity wise, you can check the Python coding. And reasons why Python is suddenly super popular. Reasons why Python is suddenly super popular, right? Okay. So here Python is not a kind of technology which is very recently introduced into the market, right? Python was introduced in the year 1989. But reasons why Python is suddenly super popular, reasons why Python is suddenly super popular, right? Okay. Okay. Python scope and job market. Whenever you are updating with any technology, right, you need to know what is the scope of it, still how long it will be in this industry, right? Yes. So Python scope and job market of this Python, right? This is what I'm going to cover today and tomorrow, right? Fine. So just I'll define why Python, and I define Python in 5 lines. Python is a general purpose programming language. Multi-programming features you are going to see within it. Multi-programming features. What all the features we see in different other programmings, all we can see within this Python, right? It's a high-level language. Python is a high-level language. Interpretation language, line by line execution you are going to observe. User-friendly programming or programmer-friendly programming language, which provides simple and easy syntaxes. Like the syntaxes of Python looks like normal English statements. They are not as complex as other programming. It looks very simple and easy to understand, right? Yes. So let me brief you one by one. What are all this like? Python is a general purpose. General purpose means, in a simple way, any kind of applications we can develop by using Python. Any kind of applications. Python is not purpose-based language. It is not for a specific purpose. So if we discussed right before Python, we have got some language. We have got some languages like Pascal, Fortran language. Okay, those are purpose-based languages. We have got purpose-based languages for a specific purposes, not for all the purposes, right? We have got languages like Pascal, Fortran, COBOL. They're purpose-based, means for scientific applications, for mathematical applications, we use them, and if like COBOL for business applications. But Python is not purpose-based. It's not for a specific purpose. A language which is suitable for developing any type of application. A language which is suitable for developing any type of application. Such a language we call it as general purpose programming language. So Python is such a kind of programming where any kind of applications we can develop, right? Okay. Any kind of applications we can develop using Python, like mainly web applications, automation applications, gaming applications, embedded applications, desktop applications, networking applications. In this way, wide varieties of applications we can develop today by using Python. That's the reason Python is widely used. So Python is widely used as an implementation language in the various high-end technologies. If you see today, like most of the high-end technologies using Python as an implementation language, like data science with Python, big data with Python, means like Spark with Python, we say like PySpark. Means for in AWS and DevOps writing automation scripts using Python, robotics with Python, IoT with Python, right? Web applications with Python. So most of the high-end technologies, like we are using Python as an implementation language and writing some kind of scripts using Python, right? Okay. Fine. Second, multi-programming features you are going to see, right? Multi-programming features. Okay. What all the features you see in different other programmings, all you can observe within this Python. That's the reason we say Python as a hybrid language, because of this multi-features support. I give a labor example, right? For example, if you want to launch a new product into the market for attracting the customers, right? What features you want to see within that mobile? The features what we see in different other mobiles, all the features, everything within a single piece, going to attract the customers, right? In the same manner, Python is a kind of programming where we see the features of different other programmings, right? That's the reason we call it as a Python as a hybrid language. So like just like scripts, like shell script we can write, like modular programming, like object oriented programming, like C language, we can develop many applications using Python. High level language. So there are two types of languages, low level languages and high level languages, if you observe, right? low level languages and high level languages. Low level languages like assembly level or machine level language, right? Assembly level or machine level. So these languages mainly they are not understandable. First thing is not human understandable. Not human understandable. Secondly, they are not portable. They're not portable. And machine dependent. They cannot run on all the machines, right? All the hardware and operating systems. Machine dependent. They cannot run on all the hardware and all the operating systems. But high level languages, example of high level like Python. Python comes as a high level, right? So here they are easily understandable, human understandable, they are portable and machine independent. Let's observe this. Human understandable, portable, machine independent. Machine independent. They can run on all the hardware and all the operating systems, right? Yes. Okay. So Python is a high level language. Interpretation language. Python is a interpretation language, line by line execution we are going to observe. So which makes debugging very easy, right? So it's a cross-platform language. Python is a cross-platform language. So where Python can run on any platforms like Windows, Mac OS, Linux OS, right? Especially if we talk about Linux, right? Python comes as a inbuilt along with the Linux. No need of any separate installation within the Linux environment. Please be in mute. Santosh Kumar. Yes, I'll just unmute everyone at the end of the session for your queries. So as of now, I kept everyone in mute, right? Fine. Interpretation, compilation language are there. Interpretation language we've got. Compile, C comes as compilation. Entire code. For example, observe this. Compilation languages. I got some statements. For example, 6 statements. Compilation means it executes the entire code at once. And it gives the errors, right? How many errors? Interpretation, line by line execution you are going to observe. So if you got error in this line, it won't execute the remaining lines. If error in the second line, the remaining lines not going to get executed. Here, compilation, all the statements at once it executes and it gives the number of errors. User-friendly programming or programmer-friendly programming language, right? User-friendly programmer or programming-friendly programming, which provides simple syntaxes which look like normal English statements. The syntax Python looks like normal English statements. They're not as complex as other programs. So directly or indirectly. So if I talk about the software industry, right? Directly or indirectly, you're going to touch Python, even if you're like a developer or administrator. So Python requirement means Python is the major programming language today. Like if you talk between Java and Python, both are used for enterprise applications. Fine. So who can learn Python? Who can learn Python means, once again I say, there is no prerequisite for learning Python. Means you no need of any programming knowledge. With zero programming, if you're from non-programming or from zero programming, you can easily update with Python. Python syntaxes looks very simple and easier. They are little different as compared with other programming. So everything we'll be discussing from the scratch ground level to the advanced application oriented way. Fine. So there is no prerequisites like you need to have the knowledge of C or Java. How Python was built? How Python was built means it has taken some advantages from one programming, some other advantages from other programming. In this way, from different programming languages, it has taken the advantages combined together. Right? Say that's Python. So all the features, object oriented, procedural oriented, modular, scripting, all those features you can see within this. That's why we call Python as a hybrid language. We call it as a hybrid language. Today using Python, we are writing many automation scripts, right? Many automation scripts in AWS, DevOps, IoT, in robotics, we are writing many scripts. And even in this big data like Spark. Okay. So, okay, just see, there is Python supports, observe here, Python supports nearly 89,300 inbuilt modules. Okay. So Python has taken the features from different programming languages. Python has taken the features from different programming languages like procedural oriented programming, example like C language. It has taken the features from procedural oriented like C language. Object oriented programming. It has taken the features from object oriented programming. Example like C++. So Python was introduced before Java itself. Java was introduced in the year 1995, but Python was introduced in the year 1989, right? And scripting languages, right? Okay. Like Linux shell script. Example like a Linux shell script. Okay. And modular programming. Python has taken the features from this. Modular programming. Example like Modular 3. Yes, today is the first class. Yes. Shushovan, right? Okay. So Python has taken the features from this multiple programming language. That's why we call it as a hybrid language. So here, because of this modular programming. So here, if I say object-oriented, Java is pure object-oriented programming. Without this object-oriented programming, we cannot write a single Java program or application. In Python, with object-oriented, without object-oriented, with procedural-oriented, with the modular programming, we can develop many varieties of applications. And even we can write scripting, many scripts, right? Using. And this modular programming, because of this, Python has got a great boom in today's industry, right? Yes. Nearly 89,300 inbuilt modules. 89,300 inbuilt modules Python providing for various domains. Whatever domain you are from, Python providing a module. So modules, because of these modules, Python has got very much popular. So whatever environment from data science environment, right? For machine learning, right? Separate modules Python provides. Separate modules Python is providing, right? Okay, for every domain. And for big data, if you're from big data domain, right? Python provides separate modules using which you can easily perform the operations. No need to write huge codings in Python. Yeah, with many built-in functions or libraries available using which we can perform that. If you're from networking, separate modules Python providing. Within that modules, we have got built-in functions using which we can perform the operations, right? Yes. Okay. If you're from testing background, separate models Python provides. Okay. If you're from database background, right? Database, if you have got Oracle, if you want Python to connect with Oracle database, separate module like CX underscore Oracle is the model using which Python can easily connect with the database, and we can perform all the database related operations, right? Not only like any database, Python can connect with any database like MySQL database. PyMySQL is the model required to connect with this. Yes. MySQL model or MySQL.connector. Later we discuss about that modules. Even for SQL server, any kind of database, PyODBC, right? We have got a model called PyODBC. Separate models Python provides for various domains like that. For working with Excel files, for working with Excel workbook, right? Creating Excel workbook and writing data into this, reading data from it, right? Okay. We have got models like Excel OD, Excel SX Writer models are available for creating Excel files, Excel workbook, and inserting data into them, right? Yes. Okay. So just in the case of database or in the case of creating files, right? Just by writing Python statements and executing them, go and check in the database, table gets created, data gets inserted, data, okay, fine. Excel also. Just by writing Python statements, you can go and check at whatever location or whatever file name you have provided. With that, Excel workbook gets created. Into that Excel workbook, we can create multiple Excel sheets by writing Python statements. Yes. At that, what I'm going to discuss as part of this, right? Everything I'll be discussing at the end of this, right? I'll be just showing you that entire course content, what will be discussed as part of this. And any kind of files, CSV, comma, separate values file, separate model. The name of the model itself is CSV model. Or even we have got the files like JSON files, right? JavaScript object notation, key value pairs, right? The name of the model itself is JSON. Writing into JSON, creating JSON, reading data from JSON, right? Even for any kind of XML files. You can easily create these files, read data from it, write data into these XML files. Okay. And if you want to, like if you're from statistics or statistical background, right? Separate model Python provides for this. And for mathematical operations like math model is available, right? For general mathematical kind of operations, we have got that model where it internally consists of built-in functions. And generating graphs, right? Any kind of graphs, normal graphs, bar graphs, histograms, scatter plot, stack plot, pie graphs, any kind. Okay. Generating different types of graphs using Python. How to generate, right? These things. So in this way, thousands of models Python has got for the various domains, right? Python has got various models. So not only for this computer applications, for embedded systems, for MATLAB. Okay, Python has giving many models for even CAD, computer aided designing, right? So what different models Python provides. In this way, just I showed you some examples. In this way, 89,300 inbuilt models Python provides. Okay. So as part of the course, right, I'll be discussing models related to different domains. Some models related to data science, some models related to big data, some models related to database, some models related to operating systems, some models related to graphics. Okay, some and models related to regular expressions, multitasking, mathematical models. So, and how to create our own models in Python. How to create our own models, user defined models, right? Okay. So because of this, Python has got much popular today because of this models concept. Okay. Python real-time applications. What kind of applications we can develop today by using Python? So let me just demonstrate or brief you in depth, right? Where exactly Python is used. Python real-time applications. Python real-time applications, right? Python real-time applications. So Python mostly used in creation of web applications today. Today, like many web applications are getting developed today by using Python. You may ask, you may get a query, right? Even like we got Java, .NET, PHP. We have got many other used for creating of web applications from the last 20-25 years. Why again Python here? Mainly the programmers or developers are migrating towards Python because of its simple and easy syntaxes. When very less coding you are going to observe, right? Very less coding, not even 1/4 coding of other programming languages. 1/4 coding. Okay. And the second, like automation applications. So we have web applications, many varieties of web applications we can develop today by using Python. We have got frameworks like Django framework, Flask framework, Pyramid framework, Bottle framework, TurboGate framework, right? The most famous framework for Python, Django framework, right? For creation of web applications where we follow MVT architecture. Okay. And automation applications today, like Python mostly used in creation of automation application. Java is never preferred for this automation. Like if we talk like in data science environment, machine learning, or in IoT, DevOps, right? Or in robotics, Java is never preferred. Automation applications using technologies like data science, using technologies like IoT, DevOps. Okay. If I talk about IoT, right, where exactly Python used means, okay. IoT, Internet of Things, right? Internet of Things. Today, if you observe everything through online, right? Online banking, online shopping, online exams, online education, e-learning, online business, e-commerce, online communications like audio, video chatting, online games, and online medical and healthcare, right? Everything through online. So you should have seen like smartphones, smart TVs. You are going to see like smart homes and smart cities, right? So I can say IoT is a physical network or device embedded with electronics, software, sensors, and network connectivity for exchanging data, for collecting data, and controlling the things from the place where we are, right? So it's in a simple way, it is a electronic devices connecting and communicating with each other, accessed by using a cell phone or a computer, right? Yes. So most of the coding, 90% of the coding done in Python, 90% of the coding in Python. Data science, if I come to this data science, right, everything deals with the data. Data has got experience, data has got future reference. Using data science, right? Okay, we perform like data analysis, data predictions, data classifications, data clusterings, data recommendations, right? Yes. So it's a blend of technique, data science. The main technique that what we see here is machine learning, right? Machine learning, right? Yes. So just I'll give a very small example without entering into the technicals of machine learning, where exactly Python is preferred here. So machine learning, it's a technique, it's an approach where we provide some patterns, where we are going to provide some data patterns to an application or a system. So this is an application or a system, right? Okay, you are providing some data to it, data patterns, and based on that data provided, the application need to be made that should predict the things in the automated fashion. By providing the data patterns and making that application to predict in the automated fashion, right? Yes. For example, I'll just say bank has taken loans from 1,000, bank provided loans to 1,000 customers. Out of this 1,000, 600 are paying the loans regularly. And 400, they are not paying the loans. So I just want to train the application so that tomorrow if 100 new customers approach for a loan, to whom to approve, to whom to reject means based on the current data, you are just going to perform some kind of analysis. So the 600 people who are paying, they got some X features. Who are not paying, they have got some Y features. Means I'm grouping all their common features. Who are paying, they've got some common features, their age, their income, their financial status. Who are not paying, they've got some features as X and Y. Using X and Y, X features and Y features, we are going to train the applications, right? Based on that, the application tomorrow, like 100 new customers are approaching, out of which 100, 60 have got X features, 40% has got the Y features. Assume that 60 has got X features, 40 has got Y features. To whom to approve, to whom to reject? So the 60 people have got X features saying that they will be able to pay the loans. So approve the loans for this, reject the loans for this. The history is saying that people with Y features, they won't pay the loans. Right? So in this way, so we have got many ML techniques. We have got many ML techniques available, right? So regression techniques, classification techniques, clustering techniques, recommendation techniques, pattern matching techniques. All these techniques to implement, we require a language, right? All the techniques to implement, we require a language. We'll code it with a language. So Python is the mostly chosen or mostly used programming. Okay. Which provides many modules for this data science environment for plottings and visualizations. Many. Okay, fine. So Python is used within this automation applications. Next, in big data environment or big data applications, right? Just I'll take at 1 or 2 minutes to explain where exactly within this big data environment Python is preferred. Today, if I talk like big data, the name itself saying like huge volumes of data. If you see that how the data is getting stored currently, KBs of data, MBs of data, GBs, terabytes, petabytes, exabyte, zettabyte, etabyte, sotabyte, so on, right? So from TB onwards, we say it as huge data or big data, right? You should have seen like KBs of data, MBs of data, or GBs of data, right? Do you think like petabytes or exabytes of data is it getting generated in the current real world? So if examples of this petabytes of data generation. Can anyone say like what is the petabytes of data? Is it getting generated? If so, examples of petabytes. 1 petabyte equal to 1024 TB. Already 1 TB is a large storage unit. If you talk about that social media like Facebook, right? Millions and trillions of users for Facebook. So in a minute, how many posts and videos are getting circulated? What should be the storage capacity of Facebook for storing all the messages and the videos, right? Okay. In a minute or in a hour or in a day, right? What are the Data generated by Facebook. Not only like Facebook today, if I talk about like any application generating huge data, right? If I take 1 minute transaction in a minute, how many Facebook posts in a minute? How many like Twitter tweets, and how many in a minute Google queries? And in a minute, like YouTube videos upload, right? Videos upload. What should be the storage capacity of storing all these YouTube videos, right? Huge data, right? And millions and trillions of users using email messages. What should be the storage capacities of this, right? Email messages for storing this millions and trillions of customers or bank transactions. Telecom transactions. Or if I talk about e-commerce website like Flipkart or Amazon, right? Okay. So in this way today, like all the applications generating huge data. So we have got some big data tools or technologies are available, right? Like Hadoop, Spark. So this Hadoop and Spark, they can store huge data and process huge data in quick time, right? So for this, they have got languages like Scala, Python for implementation, like especially Spark, very high speed processing. So we have got language like Scala, Python. So Spark is execution model implementing using Python. This is like PySpark. Within this big data environment also, like Python is preferred. So now let me list out the various other applications where Python is preferred, right? In scientific applications. Scientific applications, right? One second. Scientific applications are numerical analysis, right? Python is preferred. Like we have got models like NumPy. And for GUI or animation applications, right? Graphical user interface. GUI indicates what? Graphical user interface or animations applications. We have got models for this like TK intermodel, PyQt. This way different models are available, right? Graphical user interface. And apart from this, Python mostly used today for game development, right? Game development. Today we are using this Python for game development. Many online games, single user, multi-user online games can be developed by using Python. Okay. So especially for developing games in Python, right? Python giving a separate framework like Pygame. Especially for developing games, right? Python providing a framework called Pygame. Okay. Pygame and PyCora. We have got models like Pygame. We have got models like PyCora. Python providing these models. Python is providing these models, but especially for game development. Okay. Not only this, we have got some 3D rendering libraries like PySoy, right? PySoy. Okay. So especially for gaming applications, right? So single user, multi-user online games, Python providing these modules. Apart from this, Python is used for scheduling, right? Scheduling tasks. We have got Airflow for it, and for testing our test cases. Testing our test cases like Python is mostly preferred, right? Yes. Okay. Here I was talking about IoT in DevOps, right? Even Python offers a kind of structural solutions, right? In automating the task in the stages of DevOps life cycle, right? So if you see the stages in the DevOps, right? Requirement gathering, system design, system implementation, testing, deployment, and maintenance, right? So here, not only here in DevOps environment, in every case, like Python serves as a remedy to any problem in the IT industry, right? Today, it's not purpose based; it's a general purpose. So, if we come to this DevOps side, the ultimate goal is to reduce the time taken in the DevOps life cycle in improving the efficiency, right? So Python is one of the best scripting languages, which has got thousands of libraries, inbuilt libraries, which allows you to write scripts. Okay, and Python provides a structure, right, and readable automation scripts. Okay, fine. So in data science, the prerequisite is Python. Okay, fine. In big data like Spark, Python is preferred mostly today. Spark with Python like PySpark. Okay, in scheduling tasks, in also in test cases like Python is preferred. And what are the other applications, right? Okay. Audio and video applications. In audio and video applications, Python is preferred. Audio and video applications. Many audio and video applications are getting developed today by using Python. We have got some applications like examples of Team Player, C Play are some of those examples, right, which got developed by using Python. Okay. In audio and video application. Apart from this, if we see even in the software development, right? In software development also, Python is preferred. Software developers make use of Python as a support language. They make use of Python as a support language. So we have got Buildbot, Apache Gump for automated compilation and testing. So Roundup, Track for project management and bug tracking, right? So I was saying like software developers making use of Python as a support language. Business applications. Business applications, right? Yes. So Python is one of the best choice to develop e-commerce systems. E-commerce systems. So we example like we have got Triton. Triton. What is this? A three-tier high-level general purpose application, right? Okay, see, these are for best choice for developing e-commerce systems, and one of the hottest application of Python, mostly used like database applications, right? Database applications. So where it can connect with any database, right? Like Oracle, MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQL Server, all this, right? We can perform all those operations, right? And if you talk about the framework of Python, it has got its inbuilt database like SQLite 3. What is that? SQLite 3 is a database which is inbuilt within this Django framework. Otherwise, you can configure with any of our own database, right? Okay, in network applications, right? For network programming and network applications, especially for this networking kind of programming applications, Python providing a separate framework like Twisted Python, right? Yes. Okay. And the Python used for not only for computer applications, even for in electronics or in civil environment, right? Python is providing models for that. For example, if I talk about embedded applications, right? Embedded applications. So in the case of embedded applications, the most well-known embedded application, right, which uses Python for its computing is Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi, it's a well-known embedded application which is using Python for its computing, right? Okay. Apart from this, Python can be used for CAD, computer-aided designing, right? CAD applications. CAD applications are for 3D CAD applications, right? Python is mostly preferred. Apart from this, Python web scraping, right? Scraping the data from different websites, extracting data from different websites, or harvesting data from different websites, right? So if data present in databases, you'll query it. If not in databases, right? So sorry, scraping. We'll scrap the data. If not available in the database, we'll going to scrap the data, right? Apart from this, Python is used within this, for example, like computer vision, right? Like face detections, object detections, color detections, right? In these cases, Python is mostly preferred, right? Yes. In robotics, right? Python is preferred, right? And in data analysis, and Python is preferred. So in this way, we have got many applications. It's not purpose based. It's not for a specific purpose. Many type of applications you can develop using Python. Please be in mute. Okay. So these are some of the applications. Right? So mostly like in web applications creations, in automation of, if you talk about this automation applications, languages like Java is never preferred for these automations, right? Python is mostly preferred. And here I'll just discuss who are using Python today and top most applications developed by using Python. Who are using Python? Who are using Python today, right? Top most applications built by using Python. So who are using Python and topmost applications build? Okay. For example, Google is using Python for its web search systems, right? Yahoo using Python. YouTube is using Python for its video sharing service, right? Okay. Instagram built by using Python. Instagram, right? Okay. Uber using Python. Uber. There is Uber pricing algorithm, you can see, right, which is implemented by using Python. So yes, not a problem, right? Yes, if, everyone will be getting that video, right? That every session is video recorded. So some of you saying that you have got some other session at 8 o'clock now. So just I'll continue for 10 minutes or 15 minutes more. Fine. Uber. So that's why I was saying everything cannot be discussed in the single day. So tomorrow also I'll be just going with that remaining part, right? So, okay, I'll just take 10-15 minutes for what I'm going to cover as part of this training, right? What are the course content, everything, the other things. Uber pricing algorithm implemented using Python. I was just said NASA is using Python because of its multi-programming features, hybrid features. So Dropbox using Python. Quora built by using Python. Pinterest using Python. And Netflix, right? Netflix using Python for its subscription and this for security automation, right? Fine. Reddit. BitTorrent is using Python. BitTorrent is using Python for its file sharing service. MMOG, massively multiplayer online games using massively multiplayer online games, right? Maya, a powerful 3D animation, just like Photoshop and Flash, right? You have got Maya, powerful 3D animation uses Python scripting, right? Yes. iRobot for military and commercial applications. For military and Python is preferred, right? And especially companies like IBM, Seagate, Qualcomm, all this, they use Python for hardware testing, right? So companies like IBM, Seagate, Qualcomm, all this. So in this way, many applications are built by using Python, and they're using Python today. So if I talk about this first one, that the Google, right? It's one of the greatest examples of Python web applications, right? So previously, the web crawling was first written in Java, but later it was so difficult that it was rewritten in Python. So even I was saying some examples like Pinterest, Netflix, especially. It's one of the classic example of a company choosing Python. So here, if you talk about this Netflix, it is using some Python libraries, right? It's like NumPy, CP, and for numerical analysis. Okay. Even like if you see like Dropbox, so home for all your documents, files, and photos. It was written in Python. Even like if I talk Reddit for social news and web content, and Instagram also, right? It was video sharing social media network. So the prime reason for Instagram to opt for Python is its efficiency, simplicity, and practicality, right? Yes. So in this way, these are the applications, topmost applications built by using Python when you are using Python, and Python real-time applications. Fine. Okay, fine. So, okay, so just I was discussing the Python applications, features. So Python comparison with other programming, just I'll take time and I will brief you in the tomorrow session, right? So those who are from non-programming or zero programming, just comparison with other programming, you can just see how simple the Python statements looks as compared with other programming. Okay. So just I'm going to just discuss what is the okay, reasons why Python is suddenly super popular. Reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular means, if you see, just like how you communicate with your friend through messages, right? Even here also we can communicate with Python statement by statement. Just in the search panel, type CMD and just type Python here in the command prompt. Say enter. The Python version will be displayed. Python interpreter you get, right? Any valid Python statements. Any valid Python statements, right? No need to give the data type also. Directly we can say x as 10, y as 5. What is the x value? It gives the response. What is y value? What is x plus y value? What is x minus y? What is x into 2? X to the power of 2. This is the power symbol in Python. X to the power of 2. 10 square. X equal to hello. Any valid Python statements you can type and interact, right? Prints hello for 3 times. Okay. Okay. And in this way, any valid Python statements you can type and you can check it, right? So just observe, I was saying, right, I'll be discussing modules. Python has got great boom because of this modules concept, right? Okay. So I'll be discussing different models related to different domains. Some models related to big data, some models related to data science, some models related to graphics, some related to operating systems, some related to databases, regular expressions, some multitasking, OS, mathematical models, right? So this is what I'm going to discuss. Just observe. Starting with the Python. So I'm going to show you how to code, how to run this Python code in different IDEs, integrated development environment, right? Integrated development environment. So using various IDEs like PyCharm, PyDev, Komodo, Spider, Eclipse, NetBeans, Jupyter, VS Code in Autumn, how to run, and okay, I'll show you step by step how to download and how to install and how to execute the code later, right? Once we are done with a little bit of technical content. Why Python? History of Python applications, features, advantages, versions, installation, flavors, Python operators once again. Python operations, editors, IDs, data types, variables, constants, comments, type conversions, escape sequences, strings in Python. Operators, various operators we see in Python. Python IDs, different types of IDs we are going to work like Jupyter, Anaconda, Spider, Eclipse. Flow control statements, looping statements in Python, strings in brief, string indexing, string slicing, string functions, string methods, string special characters, list also in brief collections about this, like list properties, list indexing, list slicing, list addresses, list functions, list methods, nested lists, list modifications, okay, various ways of creating lists. The same way for tuples also, the same thing apply, sets, dictionaries. Functions in Python, what are the different types of arguments, default, non-default, keyword, non-keyword, lambda functions, anonymous functions, filter functions, map functions, reduce functions, and modules in Python, different ways of importing a module, normal import, from import, renaming a module, reloading a module, how to create our own modules, packages in Python, errors and exceptions in Python, exception handling, file handling, working with different types of file formats, object-oriented programming concepts in brief using Python, right? Class, object, inheritance, polymorphism, okay, constructor, destructor, garbage collector, types of inheritance, and overriding, right? Regular expressions in Python, right? For extracting required data from the given data, we go for regular expressions. Data access, database. So how to connect with the databases, installation of one database, I'll be showing you how to connect with the database, how to perform these operations, various, okay, connection object, cursor object, and the transaction management within this database level. Some models, different types of models, right? Python date and time model, operating system related module, and from advanced concepts like iterator, generator, closest, decorator, web scraping, right? Working with CSV files, JSON files, XML files, right? Okay. For GUI programming like a TK inter module, working with Excel workbook, creating and reading data from it. Data analytics like Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib, with okay introduction to this data science, Pandas module. A Pandas model in brief, like what are the different Pandas data frames from CSV file, JS1 file, Pandas time delta, creating functions, and Matplotlib, and this NumPy model also for numerical analysis, and Matplotlib plottings and visualizations. So nearly 30 topics will be discussed in brief. So nearly it will be taken like 75 to 80 hours, right? The duration of this 75 to 80 hours, nearly will be spending for 2.5 months, right? The course duration for 2.5 months, 75 to 80 hours in brief, in depth. So okay, fine. Apart from this, some advanced topics also I'll be covering related to the latest versions of Python, right? So if you've got any queries related to this Python course or anything related to today's demo, you can just go with your queries, right? Tomorrow, just I'm going to continue. It's not a replication or duplication of today's demo. Tomorrow, I just will be continuing, right? It's like a continuation of today's thing. More on this Python we'll be discussing. So everyone, you can attend tomorrow also. Same timing with the same link to see more on this Python. So meanwhile, if you've got any queries, so I was saying like every session is a video recorded. You will be getting the recorded video. Okay, where you can just view that video, not downloadable. Fine. And clear notes will be provided for topic wise, topic to topic, right? And nearly 300 plus code examples will be discussed as part of this course, not like a pre-written code. So just everything I'll be typing and showing you. The sessions to be interactive, like you will be responding for each and every statement I type, right? It's like interactive sessions, right? Okay, fine. So and at that somewhere like some Fridays, some weekends, right? I'll be providing some kind of assignments to work with, assignments and tasks, right? It's not like getting the output is not the criteria here, right? You should be able to write your own code and you will be getting the command at the end of the course, right? Yes. Yeah, certificate will be provided from DurgaSoft, right? Yes. Yeah, because a certificate will be provided by DurgaSoft. Even if you want a certification from like Microsoft certified certifications, other certifications using Python. So I'll be just helping you. What is the syllabus? What are the course content? How that your performance is measured in that certification exams, and okay, the other things. What is the pass? Everything. I'll be taking some separate sessions on it. Hmm. Fine. Okay. Tomorrow I'll be just showing you some code examples, code snippets of Python, right? So without any knowledge of Python, I'll just make you understand, right, how these Python statements look and how simple they look as compared with other programming languages. So the basics of framework Django will be covered. But if anybody interested in updating with that framework, right, the Django framework, separately I'll be taking batches on it also, right? Yes. Yeah. Any other queries?
Yes, Vijay. This is Mallikarjun.
Yes, yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. What is the time period for this course?
So daily it will be for 1 hour, right? It's online. So daily it will be 1 hour. Fine. So do they see as of now the first like 1 week or 10 days it goes at 7 to 8 same timing, but after that after 10 days the timing will be like 8 to 9 IST timing, 8 o'clock to 9, right? Yes. So daily 1 hour and the duration is kind of, yes. Pardon?
Duration 2 months or 1.5 month?
It will be like 2 to 2.5 months. So we are going to discuss in brief, right? So Python, see, I'm dividing this Python into 3. Just please be in, you can ask your query and you can just go into me, right? I'm dividing.
After the complete course, is there any mock project explanation?
Yeah, I'll be discussing one, right? I'll be discussing one. So I am dividing the course into 3, right? Yes, it's a Python core, advanced and application oriented models. Because of this models only Python, we see I've got great boom, right? So totally in brief, in depth, we'll be discussing where you are going to get command, right? So that's what. Yeah, any queries, right? Any other queries? Please be in mute. The others, please be in mute.
Hello, sir.
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Sir, this is Vikas.
Yes, yes.
Sir, actually, I want to know the Django and the other Django is covered in that syllabus or not? Sir?
No, Django is separate course, right, for web applications creations. So even for students who wants to go with like project development, developing applications using Python, and we have got separately for that, right? Yes. Django frameworks for Python, and even this weekend a batch is going to start, and in the coming days also we'll see that they're separate. They'll be separately dealt. It will be also for 50 to 60 hours, right? Separately. Fine. Frameworks of Python.
Oh, sir, in this Python course, the projects are taught after this course or discussed.
Pardon?
The projects after completion of the course.
Yeah, one will be discussed. One project will be discussed as part of this course, right? Yes.
Oh, and the duration is
2.5 months.
oh.
Fine.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, difference between certificate and certifications.
So just if you want to get a certificate from this institute, right? You are doing in DURGASOFT, right? That is like just certification means okay, you'll be testing it with the core concepts of Python. It's from Microsoft certified, right? You'll be Microsoft certification. The means you'll be getting certificate from them, right? You need to apply, and there'll be some amount, right? you are supposed to pay some fees for it, not for us, not it's for that Microsoft certification. The fees, the syllabus, everything I'll be discussing later. Means if you want to get certified from the Microsoft and other, right? I'm talking about. But the certificate after this course completion certificate or other thing from the DurgaSoft, it will be provided.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So I'm running out of time. So if I'm done with the queries, if there are no other queries, right, then I will sign off for today. Meet you tomorrow same time at 7 o'clock with the same link, right, to see more on this Python. And thank you all for your time for attending this session. Thank you. Meet you tomorrow. Bye.